So this is about something else. Well, it is well known that you have been present in Serbian academic circles for years, and let's start with Matica Srpska, our oldest cultural institution. For years you were a foreign member of Matica Srpska and member of the editorial board of its journal Classical Studies. You've written a large number of articles for this journal. Can you tell us how that collaboration started?
That started when I met at the 2000, this is the year AD 2000, international conference of the International Society for the Study of European Ideas, ISSEI. It met in Utrecht, in the Netherlands. And I had proposed what we call a workshop, which is it's not a seminar, it's a special kind of meeting where people interested in the same basic thing share information in papers, presentations. Ksenia Gajansky-Maritsky, I can never remember which to put first, but the great Ksenia Gajansky, that's, I guess, her married name. She was there. And the topic was the future of classics in the third millennium. Well, in the 21st century and in the third millennium. And she came with a report on circumstances in Serbia. She was already then, and this is over 20 years ago, she was already a leading light, a distinguished figure in classical studies in this country. And she gave a presentation, and I was very impressed with her presentation, and I was impressed with her. And we agreed that we would keep in touch, and we did. She invited me to contribute to Zbornik, and I did. In fact, I think I have contributed to Zbornik every year without interruption for the last, well, first maybe it was volume 7 or 8 or something like that, and now we're looking at 22, 23. I think I've contributed every year. I don't think I missed one. And there's one year I actually had 2, in, I guess it's a combined issue, but so I've published a lot there. But it started with a personal meeting, and so much. Virtual meeting is nothing. A personal meeting is everything. A personal meeting with Ksenia, national professor of classics, I guess Greek classics. And so I began contributing, and I'm a strange kind of subscriber. I contribute each year rather than get the volume. And some of my very best work has appeared there. I'm proud of everything I think that I published there, but there are 2 or 3 things there that I have published. I could have published elsewhere, and they would have had a wider distribution. But when I was up for promotion to full professor a few years ago now, I chose several of the articles that I published there for the reviewers, and they were good enough to have impressed some prestigious scholars of their value. But I heard from one of them, who's a friend of mine, one of the referees I selected, that really I should have been publishing in other places. But I was happy to continue to support this journal. And I'm always happy to read articles that aren't in Serbian, that appear year after year. I should by now have learned to read a little bit, at least in the Roman script, but unfortunately I've not had time to do that.
Thank you. And apart from Matica Srpska, you've been cooperating with the Serbian Society for Ancient Studies and the University of Belgrade Faculty of Philosophy for a long time. Can you tell us something about that as well?
Well, that's a more tenuous relationship. I did contribute to, it was a special conference some years ago, and I contributed something actually on Petronius, the Roman author. I lectured on a contemporary American playwright, August Wilson, at the Matica, Srpska, one of my first times in Serbia. So this is now 10 years ago that happened. I lectured on August Wilson, a black American playwright, who, if he had lived long enough, unfortunately he died in his mid-60s. He should still be alive, but he had cancer, it killed him. He probably was going to win a Nobel Prize. He's that good. And I say he is that good because his plays live, even if he doesn't live. And so the connection is slight. I've not done much for classics. I think this will only be the second lecture that I'll have given for classics. That will be later this week. I did lecture, I think, for the theological and for the history institutes. One year, Ksenia Gachansky arranged for me to be very busy during my week here, and so I lectured for other units of the university. But it's that has been sporadic and not nearly as continuous, or, to be perfectly honest, as important in my life as the annual article for the Zbornik.